Anyway, this is just a little piece that I made for a sanding disc. I don't have all the room in the world in here, nor all of the money to buy all of these different things, so you have to, like you all do, improvise. This is nothing more than a 12-inch sanding disc. This is a smaller one, but little sticky back dealios. Okay. Still works just fine. This little dealio right here keeps a lot of the sand particles, the dust particles, out of the air. That's about 900 RPM. You can look on here and see where you've sanded and where you haven't. It hasn't hit here or here, so I just turn this a little bit, let that happen. So see that I had a little bit right there, a little bit right here. Okay, you can turn that up. And this here is just fine, just like that right there. You guys are probably familiar with these Coles jaws. There's a lot of different uses for them. I use them for alignment sometimes, and that's what I'm going to show you now. I'm having to adjust these Coles jaws because what I'm going to do is put the bottom of the piece in here. That'll make sure that it's centered. That's exactly what we want. Okay, I've got these now adjusted up finally to where hopefully this here will tighten down, and that'll make that this is in the center of the lathe, center of the piece. And we'll check it. Easy way to check it, we know that the center is going to be right about here somewhere. I'm going to put this in here, put a little pressure on it, make sure it's nice and flat up against the Coles jaws, give it a final tighten down. I'm checking to see how flat it is on this angle right here. If it wasn't flat, then I'd have to flatten it. If you start off with it being a little crooked, it's going to stay crooked throughout the whole damn piece. You want to avoid that. For the alignment on this right here, my first board, I'm going to see how close I can come to getting it aligned on one of these here, whether it's in the middle of this or whether it's on both outsides of it, however it goes. But I'm using the jaws of the chuck to secure my piece. My piece is taller than what the tops of these jaws are. I've expanded the jaws out to hold it, and then I'm going to do a dry fit. The reason I like this is because this hole here is made for this doggone live center, and with having it locked down, this is how I apply my glue, my force, my tension, and so on. So I'm just going to do a little test fit here. I could put it like this, insert right in the dead center of that guy right there. See how it is over here. It's not quite dead center. So I like that. That there will be a nice little design feature. Nobody will notice it, but I do. Okay, it's going to slap some glue on here. Don't need a whole lot. I don't take any time with rubbing it around and all of that stuff. You can do it if you like, but I don't need to do that. Got me a little drip catcher down here. I just finished up having using the chuck to align it. I don't leave it on there very long, just long enough for it will stick. Then I'll put me in a little clamp block right here and let that dry for a moment. I don't think I hurry the process because they come out and they look pretty damn good. So again, I'm just going to slap a little bit of glue on here. You don't need a whole lot. And then as quick as I can, I'm going to get this back in there. Now I have to be quick to have my block ready. I got to take this off without dragging on the piece, and then get that block in there quick. That there provides the pressure that I want. Okay, if you focus your eyeballs right there, you can see that there's no wiggle waggle. They're just running straight across and straight this way. You can't get it any truer than that. That's got to be 90 degrees this way and 90 degrees that way. The alignment looks okay to me. So, again, I'm going to repeat the process. Take this out. Relieve the pressure and stick it out of there. It's going to go back in, applying some pressure. I'm going to try it again. Did that son of a gun move on me or didn't it? You can see that it hasn't moved. This right here is still exactly where it was. It's in the center of that piece. That's all you can hope for. Some of these patterns that I make, you have to be careful to make sure that you don't have this flipped the wrong way, because that changes the orientation when you go to align it up. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, but somehow or another, every now and then, I find myself getting close to making that error. The key is instead of trying to demonstrate what the hell I was trying to do, is just to go ahead and do it, instead of trying to show how to change that. So I like it this way here. This is a stepped process here where you got purple heart, purple heart, purple heart, and canary wood, and such. This one here is going to be a little different because there's no spacers in between, which means that it's a little bit smaller. I found out with an 1/8 inch spacer in a 12 segment bowl gives you about 1/4 of an inch larger diameter. Yeah, so this one here, it ought to run true, but it's going to run lower than what this here is, obviously. Yeah, you see it's running true. Straight this way, straight this way. Normally, I'm making 4 or 5 pieces at a time. So as far as I'm concerned, that's been on there long enough. I can take this off, set it on my table, and nothing's going to happen to it. The idea is that if you have good equipment and you use it properly, you can get this kind of results. So this thing here is lined up as fine as you can line it up as far as my abilities go. And we'll make another video on the turning of this bowl here at another time.